Please be seated. We hear this morning this amazing event that happens to Saul on his way to Damascus. You see, Saul was a good Jew, and he was doing what felt he was called to do, which is to go and make sure that people were following the Jewish traditions and Jewish ways. And there were these people out there who were just not doing that, who were starting to talk about some other things. And this Jesus that had been resurrected, and they were called the people of the way. And so he was determined to make sure that nobody followed the way, because what they needed to be was the Jew, right? Sweet Bill, he went outside so he wouldn't cause interruptions. And, he's so powerful that he's everywhere. So here is Saul going on his way to do what he thinks he needs to be done. And bam, Jesus shows up. He was not expecting this. He can't see. And Jesus says to him, "Why are you doing this? Why are you harassing me?" So they take Saul into Damascus. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, here's Ananias doing his thing. He's a disciple of Jesus. He's proclaiming the good news, but he's aware of what's going on in the world, right? He's aware of what's going on in his community. And again, mind his own business, doing his own thing, and bam, there's Jesus. Jesus says to him, "I have a job for you, Ananias. There's this man who's coming in. He's staying over at the Straight Street, and I need you to go to him and give him a message." Ananias knows who this man Saul is, because he's heard about Saul. Saul is famous, or as we could say is infamous, right? He says, "Are you talking about that same man who has been harassing the righteous ones and your people, your disciples, that one?" And Jesus says, "Yes, that one." "Oh, well, I don't know if that's such a good idea, Jesus. I think that we should just let him be, because, maybe if he's not feeling so well, maybe he's better. We're all better off." And Jesus says, Go. I need you to do this." But he said, no, I have a plan for him too. He too will be one of the ones who spreads out the good news. I have a plan for him too. So Ananias does. He could have said no, He could have said no, but he does. He does go. And so he goes into this place where other people that he's afraid of, whom he doesn't know how they're going to treat him, how they're going to receive him, but he goes. And he heals Saul. And Saul gets baptized. He gets welcomed into this community, this faith community of the way, of disciples of Jesus who are proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ. And he doesn't get baptized and goes on his own right away. He stays. He stays in that community. It says for several days, so we don't know exactly how long Saul was there, but he was there so that he could be taught by the other disciples, so that the other disciples could teach him about the way of Jesus. Because remember, Saul was not a disciple of Jesus when Jesus was alive. He didn't walk around him and hear his stories and know what he was teaching. So the disciples caught him up to speed. They shared with him those stories. They talked about Jesus. And then Saul was ready to go out and proclaim the good news. I think it's such a wonderful gift that we've got today to hear about Saul's baptism, because at 1 o'clock, 3 people will be baptized in our congregation today. 3. And so they were coming in, and they're going to come into our faith community. And now we have an opportunity for us as disciples to teach them, to show them the way of Jesus, to teach them what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. And so how are we going to teach them? What are we going to teach them, right? What are we going to say to them about the good news? And not just with our words, but with our actions. Because that's how they're going to learn more, by what they see, not just by what they hear. You know, one of the things they say about good teachers is that they are in relationship with their students. We have several teachers here, retired teachers, but teachers nonetheless, who have taught lots of students. And am I right that the best way to teach somebody is if you know them? That if you know a little bit about them, what they like, what they care about, what their interests are, right? How their lives are. So in order for us to be really good teachers to our new members of our congregation, to our the new people who are the people who are about to be baptized, is for us to know them, to hear their stories. What do they care about? What's life like for them? What's important to them? What are their fears? Right? So just like teachers at school who know about their students and the lives that they live in the community and what's impacting them, so that they can adjust when they come in scared or hungry, that we too can know what's happening in the lives of these new disciples, these new baptized Christians. And the other thing about good teachers is they're also very good learners. We can't teach what we don't know. And so part of this teaching student is that we get to learn from them. What gifts, what stories do they have that may impact us and how we live our lives? And the thing is that we are called to invite new people into this community, even those that we may think, I don't know about them. I'm a little worried about them. I'm a little scared about them. I don't know them. They're different than we are, right? I mean, Ananias said that. I don't know about that Saul man. I don't know if we should let him in. What is he going to do once they come in? So we are challenged to be like Ananias and say, yes, Lord, I will go to them too, and invite them and welcome them in. So it's such an exciting time for us today as we have this baptismal font in front of us to remind us that we are called to welcome people in. We're called to invite them to baptism. We're called to invite them to discipleship, and that we are those disciples that know those stories. We are those disciples that can share those stories so that then they can be formed and shaped, and we can be formed and shaped by what we learn from them, and then go out together to proclaim the good news. So what a glorious day this is today, as we invite 3 new people into our faith community, and that we can practice that teaching and learning that Jesus calls us all to do, so that we together can be Christ's hands and feet out in the world. Amen.
Amen.